Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations at the Table. My name is Laura. I'm just very grateful that everybody has dropped in today and joined us for this little meeting. I am so excited about today's guest. Everyone just keeps getting better and better and better. And I'm so excited because Brian is, we've known each other, I was thinking today, for almost 40 years, probably. We've been family friends forever. We were roommates after high school. We spent a lot of time together in high school. And I kind of consider you the brother that I never got to have. So Brian Stockbrugger, welcome. Hi.
Hi, Laura.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah.
Good, good. So let's just, for anybody who's watching this that doesn't know, Brian, where are you right now?
I am in New York City, actually Brooklyn. I live in Brooklyn.
Okay. And you moved down to the States shortly after high school, right?
Yeah, 1994. So after college, I went to U of R and then moved to California after that.
Right. And now you're over in New York and you're an IT guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cybersecurity.
I'm guessing at some of this. Yeah. So you get to work at home. So this whole quarantine, self-isolation hasn't really changed a whole lot of you outside of the weekends. Hey?
Yeah, during the week, I mean, I'm used to working from home, so it's kind of nothing new. Obviously, not being able to go to restaurants and go out, hang out with friends and, go do stuff after work has changed. But, the work atmosphere is has been normal if
Right.
but yeah, the weekend is definitely where you notice the big change for me, at least.
Right. Has work slowed down at all for you? Like being that you do what you do?
It's actually, for my job, it's actually had the reverse. We've actually been more busy during this time because of, I work for Microsoft in their cybersecurity side of things. And as businesses and, education institutions are doing this whole work from home, learn from home, we're actually working pretty hard to help, make that happen for our customers and for, schools and universities and whatnot. So it's actually, we've been really busy, which is nice. It's made this time go by quickly, but at the same time, I feel like we're kind of making an impact, during this crazy time.
Right. And you have your lovely Haley living with you, don't you?
Yes, Haley's been here. She lives with me here in New York and has been, we've been just doing a lot of spending time together this last 6 weeks or so.
Yeah. Could you, like, I couldn't imagine not having my kids here or somebody here.
Yeah, it's been really good, a blessing for me at least, to have her here and, have somebody to spend some time with and
right. And your other daughter is in California, your grandbaby.
Yeah.
So have you been Zooming with Caitlin and the baby?
Yeah, we just got off a little FaceTime call with her. I had sent some packages to Aria as a little care package, and so he was going through them so we just spent some time on FaceTime to watch her open up those packages and excitement in her eyes as she got to see all the things we sent.
Right. I can't wait to be a grandma.
It's awesome.
I can't wait. Not with my younger kids, with my older kid.
Oh, it's the best. I love it.
Yeah, I bet. Hey? Yeah. So a couple of things that I want to talk to you about. You are an Ironman athlete, correct?
Yes.
You've always been like crazy into sports. Like you were a hockey player, baseball player, you did track in school. You always were, fitness was huge for you.
Yep. Yeah.
What happened that you turned the corner to get like Ironman? Well,
I know.
What happened? How'd you find that?
Yeah. So I actually, I'm going to be turning 50 this year.
Oh, I know.
It was shortly before my 40th birthday. I decided I wanted to do a triathlon just as kind of a bucket list thing, right? Just nothing crazy, just a short sprint distance triathlon. And I did it, hated it. And I didn't prepare for it. I wasn't ready for it. It was, you know, I just, it was kind of uncharacteristic for me to kind of go into something completely blind.
Mm-hmm.
And I paid the price. It just was not fun. I didn't enjoy it. And then was kind of a little upset with myself because I kind of half-assed it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I signed up for a second one and loved it. I trained for it. I was ready for it. I was kind of more prepared, for the event itself, but the preparation leading up to it. And that was the start. I just got hooked, and I've
Right.
been hooked ever since.
So what took you from I'm going to say the word basic triathlon to Ironman? Because that's a whole other game.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I had no intentions of doing an Ironman, right? And I went to visit my parents who were living in Arizona at the time. And during that weekend that I was coming to visit them, there was an Ironman going on. So I just showed up to watch, and I actually volunteered at the event. And um, little did I know that the only way to get into that race in the following year was to volunteer, because it was one of the more popular races that you couldn't just sign up for. You actually had to volunteer, because it was kind of the only way they could kind of control signups for it or
Mm-hmm.
registration for it. So I volunteered again with no intention of signing up and registering for the following year. But by the end of the day, I was just so inspired by watching everybody. I had this vision of what a Ironman triathlete looked like, super fit, super fast, and that day it just kind of blew me away. The people that, did Ironman, they weren't these super elite athletes. They were just regular people, right?
Right.
All ages, all shapes, all sizes, all athletic abilities. And I was like, if they can do that, I can do that. And,
Right.
at the time in my life, I kind of needed a bit of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I felt that was a pretty good challenge for me to kind of, set a goal for. And I tell you what, it changed my life. And I say
Right.
that with all sincerity. It changed my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research because I didn't want to walk into this completely uneducated.
Sure.
Because we all know that I'm not a super huge elite athlete, although I did go for a bike ride this weekend. Just saying. Two.
Oh, good.
First time in 20 years. Okay, so I did not know that Ironman is a brand and
Correct.
it's owned by a company.
Correct. Yep.
Wow. And that there's two kinds, there's two distances in Ironman. So there's the full Ironman, which is like, okay, so I have written down here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because I did get this off the Wikipedia. So
Yep.
3.8 kilometer swim, 180 kilometer cycle, and a 42.2 kilometer run.
Correct. Yep.
That's the full on. And then there's the Ironman 70.3.
Yeah, it's basically half of all that.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah.
And I also didn't know that there's three distances in a triathlon, like three different categories in the triathlon. And the most popular would be the Olympic one, obviously, right?
Right.
Yeah, I found that really interesting that Ironman is a brand. Now you said you had to volunteer at that one. You have to qualify for some of this stuff too, do you not?
Yeah, there's a few races, like the championship races, you've got to qualify for. Like you've probably heard of the Kona, right? The Ironman World Championship is held in Kona
Right.
every year, and that one requires you to qualify as kind of the main way of getting in. Um, but I'm actually working towards. They also have what they call the Legacy program. And the legacy program is where if you do 12 of their Ironman distance races, then you qualify to go to Kona or to the World Championship as a legacy athlete. So I'm at 10 Ironman races that I've done.
Wow.
I have two more to go, and then I'll be able to qualify for their legacy program. So If
That
I ever finish the last two and end up getting to go to Kona, then I'm retired. I'm done with Ironman distance
then you're
racing.
done. So, okay, kind of walk us through how it all works. So if you do one Ironman like a year, how many would you do in a year, or how often?
Yeah, generally you would do one Ironman, per year is
Okay.
generally what a lot of people will do it as kind of their main focused race for the year.
And okay, so if you're going to do one, let's say we're doing one September 30th, you would start training when? Like intensive training. I mean, I know you're an athlete, so you're out there doing stuff
Yeah,
all the time anyway. But when do you get
yeah,
into Ironman training?
yeah. I mean, it's about a 4 to 6 month process,
Right.
especially, but a lot of us kind of train year round,
Yeah.
right? And obviously take some time off, after the season kind of ends, but then, you still kind of stay in shape along the way.
Yes,
But
of course.
focus training is, 4 months is about a minimum build, and then 6 months is kind of, where, but there's, you've got intermediary races where you'll do kind of beforehand to kind of practice up and whatnot. So
Right. And
yeah,
it changes. Do you find, because I remember you saying to me when the last time I saw you, like you get kind of so focused that a lot of the rest of your world falls apart. So are you like intensive eating and you have a schedule every day? Do you have time off in there? Like tell us what that looks like.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, recovery is key, right? You're training
Yeah.
a lot. And so you've really got to focus on, taking time off when you need it, right? Taking, rest days or easy days. I'm not real good at taking like a full like day off. I generally do, kind of what we call active recovery. Also do like easy swims or an easy, bike ride to kind of do active recovery.
Right.
Um, but yeah, nutrition is key. Um, you're always hungry, so it's a great, if you like to eat, train for an Ironman.
Right.
Yeah, you're always hungry, so you got to be sensible because obviously you've got to, not. The goal is to not put on weight, but
Right.
try and get to the ideal weight that you want to, race at. But yeah, I mean, one thing you'll learn about triathletes in general is they're very structured. Follow a plan. Every
Right.
week it looks pretty much the
The
same as far
same.
as your workout routine and what you do on different days, and what days you swim, what days you bike, what days you run, what days you do you know both or two of the three. So
Right.
there's a lot of planning.
And I follow you on Instagram, right? And I know your girl Haley is a major athlete as well. She's a dancer.
Mhm.
She's a yoga instructor.
Correct. Yep.
I watched your speed up yoga. What
Yeah.
yoga it would be integral for your training, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It serves a huge purpose in my training because it's great for recovery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Good chance to stretch. Building some strength, and just give yourself a time to kind of unwind and relax, and kind of the meditative side of it. Um, you know, a good chance to kind of to work the brain as a muscle, if you will.
Right?
To kind of relax and
Yeah. That's I I call it I do yoga. It's really stretching that I do. And I find that I started really getting back into yoga this year because I fell and hurt my back, and I thought, holy cow, like I really hurt myself. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna do some yoga and do some stretching. And I always considered myself very flexible until I sat down and tried to do some yoga this year again. And I thought, and within 2 weeks of doing, 15 minutes of just quiet, guided stretching, specifically for a back injury, my flexibility went from nothing to almost 50%, I would say. Like, it was crazy how quickly it worked.
yeah.
and how you can go in and do a workout, like, because there are times where I was sweating and my muscles, you can feel your muscles working, but yet it was so calming and so zen and such a great way. I do mine first thing in the morning, and I found it like get the blood moving, and it was such I just really woke up when I did it as well. So I've been trying to keep that happening, especially now that I absolutely have time because I'm not working right now, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and yoga is great for that, right? I mean,
Right?
I started taking it because I, was like you, had an injury, hurt my back, and started taking yoga, and it just really kind of helped, open me up and helped with recovery and all the good things that
Yeah.
that
What I like about it too is there's so many different kinds of yoga. Like you can do the sweats workout, yoga to the quiet meditative yoga and all that kind of stuff. Um, a couple of other things that I want to talk to you about because you are down there in New York and I only see of course what's on the news and I try not to watch the news too much, but it sounds like you guys are in the heart of it. How's things?
I kind of stopped, honestly, watching the news,
Mhm.
several weeks ago because, number one, you didn't really know what the truth was,
Right?
but yeah, it is pretty bad. I mean, you can definitely, we live around the corner from a hospital and, we go out for walks on a regular basis and, they've got triage centers out in the parking lot and, it's definitely pretty bad. They're, yeah, it's been pretty bad, but we've done a really good job at, doing the whole sheltering and at
Yeah.
home,
I was
you
gonna
know.
say, so you're pretty much locked in and doing your thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I go outside, maybe a walk every day.
Hmm.
I run a couple days a week right now. I'm kind of nursing a bit of a heel injury, so not doing a ton of running, but I'll go out for a couple of runs a week just to kind of get some fresh air. But outside of that, it's the grocery store and a walk or two.
Do you guys have to mask up when you go out?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
masks are pretty much mandatory as of last weekend.
okay.
Um, but we've been, probably for the last, you know, 4 weeks or so, been wearing a mask every time we go to the grocery store. And
Hmm.
so,
That's where I feel like I'm really lucky where I live right now because I'm in Armstrong and it's a very small town. Both my kids are working at the grocery store and I'm not working at all. But I find that like I went out for my walk yesterday and I was the only person out there. Like I didn't run into anybody. And I keep saying I can't imagine being in Vancouver, even Kelowna, but New York right now. Yeah, just mm, mm, mm.
we've actually, the weather's been not great during this time. It's
Yeah,
been real cold and, decent amount of rain. But the days that it's nice out, people are out there. And so you
right.
kind of gotta, avoid, like today's a nice day, sun's been shining. Haven't been outside yet, but we'll probably go for a walk later. And I'm sure there's lots of people out there
Hmm.
today.
And you're in an apartment there?
But yep,
Do you have a balcony?
no,
Ugh, you gotta
no,
stick your head out the window.
yeah, yeah. I mean, not even that. The windows only open up about 4 inches, so it's like not like you can even, you know, poke your head out. But yeah, it's just go out for a walk. Yeah, no yard, no nothing like that to
Right.
enjoy.
Yeah. But you like being in New York, correct?
Yeah. Oh, not when you're locked into your
Well,
apartment.
yeah, okay. That goes. So you said you were living in California. Why you moved for work or for Haley's schooling?
No,
What
I moved.
happened?
Yeah, basically, as we all know, I grew up in Lumsden, right?
Yay!
Shout out to Lumsden. Um, the least diverse place on the planet. I moved to California, which, was, I really honestly, I felt like I never lived in a big city outside of Regina. Does that count?
Nope.
Uh, and, really just felt like I needed to get a little bit more diversity in my life. and figured New York would be a good place
Wow,
to get.
you got it there, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been loving it.
Well,
I
good for
moved
you.
here for what was supposed to be 2 years, and it's been 4.5. So
Has it been that long already?
yeah,
Wow.
yep,
Is
years.
Haley doing some, when you guys first moved there, was she doing some dancing with
Yep.
on Broad?
Not Broadway. She was in a number of different, like she started out in a kind of a dance program, kind of like a pre-professional type of a program to kind of,
Okay.
get wet in the industry. And then from there, she moved into, a bunch of freelance stuff. Um, and then she did a 2-year program with Alvin Ailey, which is more of a modern dance company here in New York, and has been doing a lot of freelance work over the last number of years.
Okay. So
So
she is still dancing.
yeah, well, yeah, she had 2 or 3 shows that were canceled as a result of
Right.
result of this. But yeah, I mean, she's still trying to dance as much as possible. But she's
Yeah.
gotten really into yoga,
Hmm.
and she's really enjoying that. So
That's great. It's good to have something that she can do, like it, as a yoga instructor, she could do some YouTube videos or host class online.
yeah,
We belong to a boxing gym. My mom and Avery and I can't say that I've done it yet, but my mom is boxing online every day. Like it's so great to see her do that. It's so fun. And Avery's been, of course, working out with it too. And I think that a lot of this is going to change and they'll offer that. Like they didn't offer online the gym until all this happened. And I think it's just going to, if I don't have to drive 30 minutes into Vernon to go to my boxing gym and I can get a really good workout here, I'm probably going to keep doing that. So I think
yeah,
things are really going to change in that aspect, like for gyms and retail shopping and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I should say, you still need a person to cut your hair. So
yeah,
I
I'm
need to
in one
give
of
that.
those right now.
Right. Well, I've been hacking at mine.
Yeah, Haley's been taking advantage of that. She's been hosting a lot of classes online, and she's working on something right now with a major brand that's going to be probably going live here in the next few weeks. So she's excited about that opportunity.
Fantastic.
So yeah,
That's awesome. Well, Brian, I really, really, really appreciate that you came on and chatted with me for a little bit. I know all our friends that are going to watch this, the two people, my mom and dad. Anyway, I'm joking. I'm kidding. Everybody watches this and it's so fun. They're going to be so happy to see someone from Lumsden and connect with uh, that. I think it's huge. When I get to talk to you, I always feel like I'm home. It always feels like home. And I'm a little teary-eyed right now because I love being at home. So thank you again for joining me.
right.
Before we sign off, do you have any words of wisdom for our followers and or any advice that you'd like to share?
No, I mean, I think nothing profound. Just what I'm trying to do is just stay positive. This is temporary. Things are gonna get better, and just stay positive, and be ready for when things get back to normal.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I think it's true. You got to stay positive no matter what. Um, it makes a huge difference when whether we're in this or not, just being
Yeah.
positive and looking for. So I want to just go back and say, I wish I had an editing moment where I could say the two people who watch this. No, there is a lot more people who watch this. My sister's going to be mad at me for saying that. Anyways, for all the people who get to watch this, I appreciate it for taking the time. And that's it for today. We have another interview lined up for next week. So again, Brian, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I know you're busy and the time change and all that kind of stuff, or the time zone difference. So I appreciate it. It's probably your dinner time. Is there
Getting close.
Haley out there?
Yeah.
Right? Anyways, take care. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you being here.
Yep. Thank you.